Let's face it, the official story about Roswell seems about as full of holes as Swiss cheese. First they tell us it's a flying disc, then suddenly it's just a weather balloon. And why the secrecy and urgency if it's something so mundane? In this video, we're not just scratching the surface, we're digging deep into the heart of the Roswell mystery. If you're new here and love unraveling the secrets of the past as much as we do, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. In July 1947, a simple sheep rancher, Mark Brazel, made a discovery that would shock the world. In a field, he found something unbelievable, a blanket of shiny metal pieces scattered far and wide. This wasn't just any wreck, it was something straight out of a sci-fi tale. Brazel found pieces of thin metallic foil, beams with strange markings, and even something that looked like heavy black rubber. He said the metal was so strong he couldn't bend or break it, yet as light as a feather. And those markings, like no letters or symbols we use. Confused and curious, Brazel showed his neighbors. They were just as puzzled. Could it be something from the military or maybe even from another country? But some whispered a more thrilling idea. Could these be pieces from a flying saucer? The kind people talked about in hushed tones? Brazel, being a man of action, didn't sit back. He gathered some of this strange wreckage and headed straight to the local sheriff. The sheriff's eyes grew wide. He had never seen anything like this. He too wondered if this was something more than a plane crash. He quickly got in touch with the nearby military base. This, he thought, needs a closer look. Little did Brazel know, his find would soon spiral into a tale of mystery and controversy, grabbing headlines and stirring wild theories. A simple rancher had just opened the door to a story to this day challenges our understanding of what's possible. Was it a secret password of the strange crash on Brazel's ranch began to ripple through Roswell? The response was immediate and intense. Soldiers poured into the tiny town, their eyes sharp and their lips sealed. Their arrival was something out of a spy movie. Trucks, jeeps, and men in uniform, all focused on a farmer's field, Rojek, an alien aircraft, or something else. The scene was set for something way more significant than a balloon. They cordoned off the crash area, keeping even the local sheriffs at bay. Witnesses recall seeing an army of personnel swarming the site for a supposed weather balloon. This show of force was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. The first official word from the military was a game changer. They said they had recovered a flying disc. In a time where flying saucers were the talk of the town, this admission set imaginations on fire. RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. This was the headline that hit the papers. The story spread faster than wildfire, and excitement was in the air. But then, just like that, the story flipped. Not even a full day had passed before the military backtracked. The new statement? What they found was nothing more than a downed weather balloon. This U-turn hit the headlines hard. The same newspapers that screamed about flying saucers were now telling a tale of a simple balloon. Confusion was an understatement. People didn't just question this reaction, they smelled a rat. Skeptics started piecing things together. If this was just a balloon, why dispatch a small army to a rancher's field? The massive military presence for a mere balloon made no sense. Even people started talking, the locals especially. They had seen the troops, the trucks, and some even glimpsed the mysterious debris. None of it added up to a weather balloon. In the years to follow, stories from that day would surface. Some locals and military folks who were there talked about materials unlike anything they'd ever seen. Strange symbols, metal that was both lightweight and incredibly strong, stuff that didn't match the tech of that time. And then there were the whispers, the hushed voices of those who claimed they were warned. Keep quiet, they were told by men in uniform, or else. The fear was real. The truth, that remained locked away, hidden behind a veil of secrecy and intimidation. What really happened in Roswell back in '47? Was it just a weather balloon that caused such a stir? Or was it something else? Something that had the power to make the military spring into action and change their story overnight. The mystery of Roswell still lingers. With each whispered account and hidden clue, the intrigue only deepens. Over time, tales grew wilder. Some said it was a true extraterrestrial visit. Others whispered of Cold War spy devices from the Soviets. Yet more believed it was a secret US craft. Why did so many tales spin from one incident? Alien spacecraft theory. This theory took off when the military initially announced recovering a flying disc, only to retract the statement quickly. It fueled public imagination. Believers point to accounts of material with strange properties and bodies reported recovered from the site. They argue that no known 1947 technology could explain the debris properties. Soviet spy technology speculation. The 1940s were the start of the Cold War. US fears of Soviet spying were at an all-time high. Some speculate the debris could have been part of a Soviet surveillance device or a psychological warfare experiment. The unfamiliar script on the debris was suggested by some to be Cyrillic or another form of Soviet coding. This theory gained traction due to the lack of transparency from the US government and the era's heightened tensions. However, skeptics argue that Soviet technology at the time was not capable of producing such advanced materials. Years have passed, but Roswell mystery refuses to be forgotten. Like hidden treasures surfacing in a desert, documents thought lost and secret whispers have come to light, stirring the sands of time and suspicion. Let's peel back these layers. Recently, a stunning document surfaced, claiming to be from a hidden military archive. It's detailed, filled with jargon and sketches, all hinting at something unearthly. This document, marked top secret, allegedly describes materials not of this world, metals that could change shape and return to form, and textiles defying known physics. This could be the smoking gun pointing to alien visitors, or just another red herring in a sea of misinformation. Then there's the story of an officer, hidden in the shadows' anonymity, who broke decades of silence. His account? A startling confession. He recalls an urgent operation far from any routine retrieval of a weather balloon. He describes a scramble of activity, a recovering of something unlike anything he had ever saw. This object, he claimed, wasn't made by human hands. He tells of high commands veiling the truth in layers of deception. We were ordered never to speak of it, he says, but the truth has a way of coming out. And if words aren't enough, consider this. A series of grainy, black and white photos allegedly from the time, found in an old camera, sold in an estate sale. These photos, though blurry, show silhouettes of military personnel surrounding an object too symmetrical, too perfect to be a mere balloon crash remnant. Are these genuine glimpses into history's greatest UFO mystery, or clever forgeries in an age-old game of truth and dare? Let's face it, the official story about Roswell seems about as full of holes as Swiss cheese. First, they tell us it's a flying disc, then suddenly it's just a weather balloon. And why all the secrecy and urgency if it was something so mundane? Let's scratch beneath the surface and find what they might not want us to see. Initially, the military's own press release described uncovering a flying disc. This term itself was unconventional, instantly triggering public imagination. But almost immediately, this narrative switched to a weather balloon. This rapid change in the story, without detailed explanations, sparked the first waves of doubt and suspicion. The military's swift mobilization to Brazel's ranch raises questions. For a simple balloon recovery, the extent of the military operation seemed excessive. Eyewitnesses reported tight control of the crash site, including reports of roads being blocked and civilians being warned off. Such actions typically don't align with the retrieval of being debris. Some locals, including Brazel, described materials that were unlike anything seen before. Words like metallic, extremely durable, and strange markings were used. The official explanation claimed the debris was from a high-altitude weather balloon, part of a classified project called Mogul. However, descriptions of this project's materials don't quite match up with the peculiar debris details shared by witnesses. Photographs released by the Army, allegedly showing the recovered balloon debris, appeared to depict a rather ordinary-looking metallic foil and rubber. Discrepancies. Some argue these materials look distinctly different from the debris initially described by witnesses. Critics question whether the photos were staged to dispel growing rumors of a UFO crash. Years later, documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Acts have hinted at discrepancies and potential misdirection. Language in these documents suggests a more complex scenario than a mere balloon mishap. Modern-day analyses argue that the 1940s technology, even within top-secret projects, would not align with some of the described debris properties, like memory metal that returns to shape after being crumbled. With shifting stories and puzzling pieces, the Roswell tale isn't as cut and dry as it seems. Could all these inconsistencies point to something more extraordinary? Or are they simply the byproducts of Cold War-era confusion and secrecy? The deeper we dig, the more the mystery deepens. One thing's for sure, the Roswell incident remains a compelling story of intrigue and unanswered questions, decades after it all happened. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, new tech throws us a curveball. Modern forensics, fresh photos, and unearthed stories bring us closer to what really happened in Roswell. The truth, as they say, can be stranger than fiction. Digital wizards have reworked old photos, digging out details previously missed. One such image, long considered just a blurry mess, now seems to show a metallic fragment with peculiar, non-random patterns, almost like a language. Scientists today can pick apart materials down to the atom, and guess what? Some of the Roswell wreckage just doesn't match up. Reports of memory metal and material returning to its original shape when crumbled isn't something from 1947 tech catalogs. Imagine a material so light it could sit on a dandelion without crushing it, yet so strong it could withstand a sledgehammer blow. Analysis examining the Roswell debris claim just that. No known metal or alloy in the 1940s, not aluminum, not titanium, came close to these baffling properties. Then there's the so-called memory metal. Picture this, a thin sheet of metal crumpled up, and then it smoothens back into its original shape without a single crease. The early whispers from Roswell spoke of such a metal. Back in 1947, metals that could remember their shape were the stuff of science fiction. Another peculiarity was the debris resistance to heat. Reports suggest fragments of the material could be held directly in a flame without any sign of melting or even getting hot. In an era when even the best heat-resistant materials would eventually give into the flame, this characteristic was nothing short of extraordinary. Cutting-edge isotopic analysis throws in a final twist. The atomic makeup of some materials reported from the Roswell site doesn't match known earthly resources. It's like finding a completely new element on the periodic table, something that simply doesn't exist according to our current understanding of chemistry and physics. The truth might be out there, hidden in classified documents, buried under layers of secrecy, or perhaps it lies in plain sight, waiting for the right pair of eyes to discern it. Until those truths are unearthed, stories like Roswell serve not just as captivating tales, but as reminders that our world still holds mysteries and that curiosity, skepticism, and the pursuit of the truth are vital in our quest to understand the unknown. Did the Roswell incident stir questions in your mind? Do you lean towards extraterrestrial visitors, the cover-up of a top-secret project, or just a simple case of mistaken identity with a weather balloon? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're thirsty for more stories that push the boundaries of the known and the unknown, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Join us as we dive into history's deepest enigmas, and together, let's uncover the secrets hidden in the shadows of time. Stay curious, stay questioning, and as always, stay tuned for more mysteries. See you next time.